Hello and good afternoon to everyone. This is Alex Weber, and I'm here to share my final project for Geography 280, Cartography, at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, Fall 2020. My project is on the state parks of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and more specifically, the popularity and trafficking of the state parks in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. My interest in this matter stems from, of course, being from northern Wisconsin and traveling to these parks in these areas quite a bit growing up, as well as having a genuine Uber, being from the UP as a father, and realizing that in the later years recently, there's been a pretty steady influx of people traveling to this area as they begin to realize that this is one of the more untouched wildernesses left in the United States, with the exception of maybe some of the desolate deserts out in the West. So without any further ado, I'm going to go further into the project and what it actually does. So the first issue that I ran into in collecting data for this project was that a lot of state parks and national parks around the country don't take official numbers of how many people are moving in and out. And that's just because, usually you park in a parking lot, you can walk in and out. They're public areas, so there's no one keeping track of who's there and how many people are coming in on a daily basis. So what I decided to do was use three different metrics. The first being the amount of reviews each park had on Google Reviews. The next being how many posts featured the name of the park and a hashtag on Instagram, the full name of the park, and how many likes each park had on their official Facebook page. And then from there, I was able to sort of pinpoint which 7 parks had the most of, out of like 20 or something like that. And those ended up being Porcupine Mountain State Park, Quamanon Falls State Park, Hiawatha Wilderness State Park, Straits State Park, Fayette Historical State Park, Newberry State Forest, and Pictured Rocks State Shoreline. From there, I would take the numbers that I gathered from those 3 metrics, put them into an Excel file, and took the square root of those numbers, and then divided to get the percentage from the top amount in each respective category, so that I could make a graduated symbol map based on those 3 metrics in Adobe Illustrator. So the resulting data from the map ended up looking like this, and from that I was able to determine that both Pictured Rocks and Quamanon Falls State Park were the most heavily populated. And you can see Pictured Rocks State Shoreline up here had a tie at the #1 spot for both Instagram and Facebook, and the #2 spot in Google Reviews. So that was obviously the most heavily trafficked state park, with a close second at Quamanon Falls State Park. The rest kind of fall to the wayside with a little bit of different data depending on how it was collected, but the evidence overwhelmingly supports that Pictured Rocks State Shoreline, and Quamanon State Falls Park were the 2 that were the most heavily trafficked or most popular given the data that I had collected. And finally, these are just my references. As I stated before, I gathered my data from the official Facebook pages of each of these parks, and then just the amount of reviews each had on Google, Instagram hashtag data, and then I used ArcGIS Pro for the base map, and then Adobe Illustrator to create the map itself and the proportional symbols that I used to put on the map.